Okay, okay. So greetings, greetings. So I've been making these videos that are on TikTok. So make sure you go back and watch the TikTok replays. On the TikTok replays, I have been showing a lot of the different things that I am currently talking about on the live. Okay. Um, if you're new to my channel, gratitude for your like, your share, your subscription. Gratitude. Appreciate you. Also, my website link is in the description of this video. Also, my Cash App is in the description of this video for those that do like to donate to the cause to help further the research and study and help me open up a school. Okay, so we were taught in school that Columbus found America. That's what we were taught. That Columbus found America. We were also taught that Columbus came here from a distant land. Um, when we go back to these ancient times and this ancient knowledge, they use the words the new world and the old world. So I'm taking it that Columbus came from the old world. I'm taking it that the old world is somewhere that is a dark place, like a place of the non-living. Um, I don't know, but I'm gonna further my studies before I put that in concrete. Um, but back to my lecture about Columbus. So, according to the knowledge that we was taught, 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. So we know that Columbus definitely arrived here on a ship. And there are several different documents about people arriving here on a ship. There are several different documents and stories about people being transported back and forth on ships. Um, we know that ships are vessels. Ships are also portals because a portal can bring you from one dimension into another, right? Um, so we learning from studying that when Columbus did, okay, so I actually read this book by Plato. And in the book by Plato, it actually expresses that Columbus ship landed, like came out the sky and landed. So and it said that it had teeth on it and it was like a beast and it flew and it was like a some type of magic, some type of witchcraft, some type of sorcery. Um so earlier today I was reading a book, an Egyptian book, and the Egyptian book was quoting that back in the days of Egypt that they were using fire as magic. They were using air as magic. They were using water magic. They were using earth magic. And with this elemental magic that they was using, they was throwing fire. They was throwing water, like like the airbender, the last airbender. They were people was really in tune with nature and was able to pull these elements from other dimensions because they were alchemists and they understood this science. Um, so it was like magi. They were really magi. We talked about how the ancient Israelites was magi. We spoke about how when the night the Christ was born, the magi was the three wise men, three wise kings, and how these three wise men was the ones that found Christ because the three wise men represents the wise people, the wise, the wisdom, right? So wisdom is the ability to see beyond the flesh, to see beyond what is hidden in plain sight, to see beyond the scope, because wisdom has to be established, wisdom has to be built, wisdom has to come from within. Wisdom comes from the spirit. It has to come from within. So this becomes an ancestral gift, your wisdom. And that we learned that today, that your bloodlines are powerful, and if your mother have a powerful bloodline and your father have a powerful bloodline, that child is going to be very powerful because that child going to have access to both of them powerful bloodlines. And so the ancestors, which are the gods, which are the deities, manifest themselves through that powerful child. And through that powerful child, they were able to speak through that child. They're able to create works of art through that child. They were able to express divinity through that child because that's what that child was created for. Um, the Columbus knew that these Israelites were magical. Columbus knew that they came from this ancient bloodline, this bloodline of pharaohs. The pharaohs were known to be gods living in the human flesh, in human form. So pharaohs didn't serve gods. Pharaohs didn't worship gods. Pharaohs only venerated their ancestors because their ancestor was their genetic connection to the gods. So they had no need to serve gods outside themselves or outside their ancestral bloodline because they knew their ancestral bloodline was connected directly to the sky, directly to the heavens, directly to the sun, directly to the moon, directly to the wind, the earth, the fire, and all the elements that made their magic powerful. They were connected to that source. And Columbus knew this because Columbus got permission to come here. So do you remember reading in the Bible where it talks about Job? And it talks about how the devil, which was Satan, which was Set, which was chaos, which was the darkness, wanted to test God's chosen servant, Job. And the devil, Satan, had to ask Isabella, the queen dragon, the queen mother, for permission to come here. He had to ask for permission to come here. I gotta go restudy this story because it's a little deeper than what it seems on the surface. But I'm gonna go down the rabbit hole a little deeper with this. But I do know that the devil had to go ask for permission to take Job through trials and tribulations and to do all the things that was done to Job. The boils, the um the starvation, the burning down of the house, the unaliving of the children, the